Representative Ron Estes recently introduced legislation that would place a federal ban on abortion after a Down syndrome diagnosis. The Down Syndrome Discrimination by Abortion Prohibition Act would make it illegal for a doctor to knowingly perform an abortion on an unborn child diagnosed with Down syndrome. The legislation would also prohibit anyone from forcing a woman to have an abortion because her baby has Down syndrome. The legislation specifies that mothers who undergo an abortion would not be prosecuted, but doctors found to be in violation face a fine and imprisonment of up to 5 years. The bill has 32 original co-sponsors in the House, and Senator James Inhofe introduced a companion bill in the Senate. Joining us now from Capitol Hill is Representative Ron Estes of Kansas. Congressman, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Can you tell us about the Down Syndrome Discrimination by Abortion Prohibition Act and why you decided to introduce it?
Yeah, it's a bill that we introduced on October 30th with 32 co-sponsors, and now we're up to 42 co-sponsors in the House. It's a companion bill with the Senate bill that Senator Inhofe has introduced that has 14 co-sponsors there. You know, what we're really trying to address is that 2 out of 3 unborn babies are aborted if it's found that they have Down syndrome. And that's in the United States. It's even worse in some of the European countries. And so we think that all of these individuals need to have the right to have a life and have the opportunity to live the life that they can and choose to.
And many pro-abortion activists accuse pro-lifers of trying to criminalize women, but can you tell us what the real repercussions of violating this law would be?
No, really what it is it's a penalty for the doctor that performs the abortion. It doesn't charge the mother at all in any case. The penalty, whether it's a fine or imprisonment, is for the doctor who performs the abortion. Also, it sets penalty provisions for somebody who tries to force the mother to have the abortion as well.
Well, and if this bill becomes law, then how would it be enforced?
Well, it'll be a federal law. You know, right now there are only 8 states that have laws that protect abortion and protect Down syndrome's babies. And so we need to make sure that we have that federal statute that works across all states in the country and that we can have federal enforcement as well.
Well, and we've seen some of the state bans on abortion after the Down syndrome diagnosis being blocked by judges. So do you think this one will hold up in court if it's signed into law?
Well, I think so. I mean, we've had a long history of, going back to Roe v. Wade, that there can be restrictions that are rational, that provide opportunities to address where the problem lies, which is with the doctors that are performing the abortions, and still protects the rights of the mother as well.
So can you speak to how this bill would protect a vulnerable population?
So really, when you think about people that have Down syndrome, I mean, they deserve to have the right to life just like the rest of Americans do. And so what this does gives them the opportunity to be born, to be able to live their life, live their career, have families, do what they choose to do without punishing the mother, but it makes sure that the abortion is not performed by a doctor or that the mother's not forced to have that abortion.
Amen. And pro-life lawmakers are currently in a minority in the House. So what is your message to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi about this bill?
So I think the big thing about it is that, you know, we have a long history in our country where we've supported people's right to life, and that's the important part. It's you know, one of the founding bedrocks of our country, and we want to make sure that we continue that process, that we don't discriminate against people who happen to have Down syndrome. We don't want to determine who deserves to live or who dies based on the quality of the life that we think they might have. So we want to make sure that everybody has that opportunity.
Representative Ron Estes from the state of Kansas, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, thank you.